Welcome to the JTrain podcast. It's JTrain Jared Freid coming to you live from Boca. That's right, the Southern Feather Nation Studios. We're doing a nighttime recording. Dim those lights. Light a candle. We're all here. Listen, want to thank you. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for telling a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. We love when you make it your Instagram story. And you know what we do here. We take your emails, we read them, we tell your story, we give perspective, we give advice. And, you know, my guests and I, we're talking out of our ass. It's just two people who are trying to give you empathy and support and trying to let you know, hey, this is what I would do in your scenario. So I want you to keep sending your emails, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. If you're out there and you live in Toronto and you came to the shows, thank you. Thank you. The Toronto shows were amazing. You're the Canadian hospitality is what they told me it would be. You're great people. You're wonderful. You're fun. You laugh. Oh, we hugged. You sucked my titty. I sucked your titty. We had it was just a beautiful weekend. You know, I'm going to get to our guest in a second because he knows when you have a beautiful weekend, you want to just bathe in it. I want to live in Toronto. I want to be your mayor. I want to run for president of Canada. You don't even have a president. Who gives a shit? All right. It's late night, JTrain. Had a couple drinks at the bar with my mom. I'm a little loose for this podcast. If you're on YouTube, youtube.com/Jared Freid, I got live shows. So listen, you can have the same experience they had in Toronto. If you come to my show, bring a crew. Assemble that group chat. I'm going to be in Perrysburg, Ohio. Coming to Vancouver, low ticket alert, ring that bell, Shelby. Irvine, Indianapolis, Spokane, just added to the calendar. Coming to Spokane, Oklahoma City. And then we go to Europe. I get on that plane. I hop across the pond. Dublin, Belfast, London, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, Berlin, Oslo. And then I come back stateside. I go to the Oslo of America, Nashville, Tennessee. So listen, jaredfreid.com for tickies. If you're in any of those areas, if you know people in those areas, send them my way. Otherwise, The Bachelor has begun. If you haven't watched my first live stream, it is on the highlights of my Instagram profile. I also did profiles of every contestant. Would love for you to share those. That's what I like to call free funnies. Okay? Free funnies. I'm Jared Free Funny Freid. Okay? I'm giving out funnies all across this great nation. Okay? Go check those out, laugh, enjoy, share with a friend. Very excited about today's guest. OKP to the podcast, original key player. He's got a great cup he's drinking from if you're watching on YouTube. I love that cup.
That's right.
Big
you know
fan
this place?
Of that cup. No, what is that?
Parlor Pizza in Chicago.
Oh, my God. I love a cup like that.
Dude,
I got to say,
cups.
I would fill that with ice so badly.
Yeah.
I'm drinking from the throwaway cup that's not a throwaway cup. Like, this is a cup that lives for 7 generations. Like, my grandkids will have this, and it's the only cup I like. I want a cup that ruins this earth. I'm very excited about today's guest. Mike Cannon, thank you for coming on the show.
Dude, thanks for having me. First of all, late night is kind of my favorite time to podcast, even though it completely disrupts our life and our work. Mm-hmm. But it's like, this is the ultimate. This is the sleepover. This is the exact vibe that you want.
In all honesty, this is when we are optimum funny.
Right.
This is when we work up to. When we do a podcast during the day, we're in off hours. This isn't when we're like ready to go. I get to like 8 o'clock. I'm like, it's stage time. You know, I'm punchy. Yeah. I'm talking about cups and shit.
Dude, it's like it's maybe the most difficult juggle of all time to have a child and then learn how to like this sounds ridiculous, but peak a couple times throughout the day.
I can't imagine. You have a child.
Yeah.
How old is the kid right now?
3.5.
3.5. I've never met him once. Wow. It's like I see every day. Never even seen this kid. I see him on social media.
Yeah, that's right.
Cute
kid.
He's
been to the cellar once.
Okay. What does he say? Is he like...
He's wild, dude. He's in these streets. He's fired up. He loves Batman. Real big superhero guy. Is not allowed to watch most of the content because it's massively violent. But, he's just into the costumes.
How does he get into that? In what world are you just like... Is it one of those things you hear about when you have kids, you're like, they just do. Like you just... Yeah. They just become little boy who loves Batman.
Yeah, that and like, he's in daycare / preschool right now. So it's like you find out the influence other people have on your perfect little angel immediately.
It wasn't me.
No, dude, we sent him into that place and he's like, Dad, I love Batman and I fingered a girl. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, what a day.
Well, this is also how parents become delusional. You're like we sent him to school, all of a sudden, critical race theory. What the fuck?
I don't care for all these empathetic terms he's learning.
Fingering women and caring about other people of other backgrounds. What the fuck happened?
I thought this was school.
Right. So listen, Mike is on this show tonight because he's a fantastic guest, but most of all, he has a huge show coming up at the Gramercy Theater in New York City, February 25th. Are you taping anything or you're just doing a big show?
No, so it's just a big show. I have a brand new hour from last year, so it's more
even
like
better.
It's just a New York homecoming, biggest show I've done, and Gramercy Theater, as made famous by you, who recently sold it out in half a second.
Yes,
they
do have written above the door the house that Jared Freid built.
That's right.
Listen, I taped the special there. If you went to the special and you like my stuff, you will love Mike Cannon. He has a show there. There's very limited tickets available. I went and looked. There's not. Mike is coming on being like, let me get rid of the last 10. So if you're listening right now or you're watching on YouTube, go to MikeCannonComedy.com, MikeCannonComedy.com. Get the tickets. Get the last few. What night of the week is it?
It's a Saturday, February 25th.
Oh, come on.
After party in the venue. It's going to be
Saturday. There's going to be an after party. Make your day around this show. You're going to have such a good time. Yeah. I watch Mike all over the city, without having to meet his kid, which is perfect for me. So this little Batman kid,
Yeah. So dude, you'll meet him when you're like just date coaching him. You're gonna give him tips on
when
his
he's
Tinder.
18 and ready for me.
Yeah.
So ready for me to walk him through this whole singles game. I'll be 58 and single.
All right, buddy. Now you're ready to meet Uncle Jared.
That's right. It's time. Listen, Mike's show is at the Gramercy Theater, February 25th. I want everyone to go buy tickets. We'll have the link in the description of this episode. Make sure you bring a crew because you're all going to find, if you don't know Mike Cannon already, you're going to love him as much as I do. And he has a podcast called Here's the Scenario. He does it, I love the premise of the podcast. I love the Here's the Scenario idea.
It's just goofy fun. We do hypotheticals, like what ifs, just, classic. I mean, talk about sleepover, just like sleepover shit. And that's the launch point. And it's basically me. It's me, Brendan Sagalow, Mike Feeney. And it turns into a debate show about nothing where we just
love it.
Conjure up fantastical ideas and then call each other, horrific names for thinking of something. It's insane.
What's better than that? So Feeney, Sagalow, and Cannon, great podcast. Here's the scenario. Let's get to the emails. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Lifestyle question. I love a lifestyle question.
Ooh, me too.
How to get a friend to stop acting like a spoiled brat. Okay.
Ooh.
Jared, love the pot. I'll get right to it. I have a friend who recently got married to a wonderful man. Very happy for them and was thrilled to be included in their special day. The wedding was in June. We'll call her Ramona. Okay. That's a very weird.
All right, Judy Bloom.
Right. Okay. Since then, there have been multiple instances where Ramona says things that make her come across like a spoiled, ungrateful brat. For example, she complains about what an inconvenience it is that she can't fit all of her shower gifts into her apartment. These gifts all came from her registry, so she specifically asked for them. For example, Ramona said to a full Friendsgiving table, all of the girls were at the shower. I seriously get so annoyed that I have a Le Creuset?
Le Creuset. The kind of pan. Yeah. Or like they do pots and pans.
You're definitely married with a kid if you know from me going, Le Creuset? Like this is... have a Le Creuset pot taking up so much space in the kitchen. I don't even cook, so what the fuck am I going to use it for? At the same dinner, she also complained that she doesn't have time to write the thank you notes to everyone. I mean, This is brutal. You put it on the registry. Like, you put it there.
Yeah. Do you know what I think this might be? Can I weigh in already?
Please.
So I think she might be doing a thing where she's like kind of bracing her friends for her Etsy shop, and like a lot of her shower items are just going to be resold on this shop.
Well, do you think she's like drunk on being a bride? There is such a thing.
Yes.
And here's something I've heard, and I know we're two dudes talking about brides, but I have a good friend who was like, it was very funny. He was like, "You're gonna." We were talking about weddings. My brother just got engaged, and he was like, "It's so fascinating because he got married and his wife became this like bride, very much a bride."
Yeah.
And he was like, it was very much a departure from who he knew her to be, but also it was her. You know, he loves her. But he said that the wedding got over, and then she like did like a shake of the head, like a oof. And then she was like, wow, that was crazy, man, huh? Like, I really turned into quite a bride, huh? Like it was like she blacked out through the whole thing and then like came back to reality.
But so many people don't come back.
Did you have that with your now mother or your child? I know you want to keep the house, calm.
She was a model bride, just perfect, so giving, very empathetic, very patient.
But did you have that where she kind of like came out of it, afterwards?
There's so with my wife, because I've seen that with friends. I've even had like, this isn't necessarily bride exclusive. I've had dudes, like dude buddies who have been like, this is my day. And I'm like, it very much isn't on any level. It's like, just shut up and be the manservant to the girl whose day it actually is. Stop your fucking bitching. But I've also seen my wife's friends have that like it's almost like a brand new comedian going viral for the first time. Right. And they like walk into, a new comedy club and they're like, you guys all know who I am. And they have that power and they're like, giving advice to comics that are older than them and just like really feeling themselves. That's a bride because, a lot of the time people build this day to be the fantasy that their life didn't end up being. Well, so they're like, you know what I mean, though?
I know what you mean.
This is their Princess Diaries. This is their version of that where they can be their fantastical self.
And in addition to that, everyone doesn't tell them the truth.
Right.
Like, it's the one time you're LeBron James. Like, LeBron has a crew, and he'll be like, I don't know.
My hairline looking good, fellas?
They're and everyone's like, looking good, man. like... I'll keep reading. I get that everyone occasionally has a bad moment, but Ramona's complaining has become more and more frequent. It's very off-putting and rude. I'm also not the only one who notices it. Could you give me some advice for what I could say to bring her behavior to her attention in a kind and effective manner? Thank you. What do you think? What do we say to Ramona?
I forget. Can you remind me? Is Ramona her direct friend, or is she the spouse of her friend?
She said, I have a friend that recently got married to a wonderful man.
Okay, so Ramona's...
And she was close enough to be included in her special day. The wedding was in June. So she's close enough to be included as, like, I'm assuming a bridesmaid. So she's bridesmaid level friend. And now she's like, I can't stand this fucking bitch.
I might be the wrong person to ask for this because, my wife comes to me with a lot of her problems and my solutions are very conflict oriented, like conflict heavy. And
maybe your conflict heavy and my wuss heavy solution could come together to give this person a good plan.
Because I'm all about abrupt, not necessarily brutal, but abrupt honesty of being like, hey, just a heads up. It really hurts my feelings when you talk this way, like when you're just constantly bitching and moaning and talking about, all these things that you put on your registry and we were all kind enough to get you. And now you're complaining and coming off as ungrateful. I'm not saying you are ungrateful. I'm saying that's what you're appearing to people that are not you.
Well, I love what you said. I think you're right. I think stay in the specifics. You can't go, you appear ungrateful. You have to go, when you said this, I have the transcript. You have to put her face to face. Here's the thing with, like, drinking the Kool-Aid on being the bride and, like, being drunk on the bride brew, so to speak. You might still be drunk on it. Like, I think she's still a little bit like... my God. Like, I don't think she hears herself. If we're going to be as empathetic as possible, I think that's like the move. Yeah. When you have because she cares enough about this friend to email us, okay? So she doesn't want to lose this friend. When you're mad at a friend, let's take the most, let's see them in the best way possible. So in the best way possible, Ramona doesn't hear herself. Ramona was at that table, has no idea that she's sitting there complaining to people about the gifts she has that they got her. Okay? Which is insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
So maybe she needs to be, shook enough to wake up to it. So if you start at, I love my friend, if you start at, I want to keep my friend, if you start at, let me come at you at the place that I would do. Let's not start at, you're an ungrateful bitch. Let's start at...
It's La Crusette, you twat.
Right. You have room above the oven. Let's start at, where would I fuck up in the same way? And where I could understand that I would fuck up in the same way as I would just come off of, you're doing the Gramercy Theater. You come off your Gramercy Theater show, you're fucking walking, you're strutting.
Yeah.
And you need a friend to come to you and go, hey, man, I saw you strutting. You look like a fucking idiot. Here's a video of you strutting.
Yes. Yeah, show me the video, please.
And listen, I'm saying to you as a friend, and what you said in the beginning is perfect. I got really upset. It made me annoyed. And put it on you. And here's the mistake people make. They go, everyone's mad.
Right.
Everyone's talking. That's a way that someone gets defensive. If you make it about you, now they can talk directly to you.
That's if she reacts unfavorably. Then you fucking kerosene the bridge and throw a couple matches on it.
Well, if she says, no, I'm not, you go, everyone's talking. Get the fuck out.
Literally everybody. Literally everyone. Can I also add a point of empathy? So this will help you actually even maybe feel a little bit more for her, because similar to like a big show or something like that. So my wife didn't become an intoxicated mad person, but there was a postpartum period after the wedding because so much goes into it. So much planning, money, your life's dreams, all of these things go into this day. And then it happens and you're kind of like, like, what the fuck now? Like, what was that? That's over. So wait, the wedding doesn't go forever. I don't have anything to plan. I don't have anything to do. So she not only is drunk on that shit, but could be reacting to those.
Also, the likes are gone. You're not getting the daily injection dopamine. So you're right. Like there's a come down, and maybe she's reacting badly to that.
You could tell when some fucking poor bride is 4 months into marriage and she's like, still remembering my special day, and like reposting shitty pictures.
We saw this picture already.
Yeah. She's like, I just want a couple more.
Right. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Mike Cannon. At I am Mike Cannon on Instagram, all platforms. But more importantly, Gramercy Theater, February 25th. Go, go, go. We're sponsored, people. Get 2023 started with your own personal shopper. This year, let Stitch Fix take care of everything you wear. Stitch Fix is easy to use and fun to get started. Answer a few questions about what you like and what you don't like, and how you are trying, or how you are to try. How open you are to trying something new. Then let Stitch Fix's expert stylists go to work. Here, I love Stitch Fix because most important of all, you're going to tell them what you like to wear, and then you're going to get to try it on at home. Your own mirrors, your own, as long as you want. No one knocking on the door of the what's it called? The
dressing room.
The dressing room going, are you okay in there? No, you get to walk around the apartment, put on your shoes, all that good stuff, and then you can send it back if you don't like it. Every piece is handpicked for you and is unique to your size, style, and budget. Keep what you love, send back what you don't. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are easy and free. Plus, there's no subscription required. Try once or set up automatic deliveries with no hidden fees. Sign up for your Stitch Fix and get the season's latest styles for women, men, and kids. Sign up today at stitchfix.com/JTrain and get $20 off your first purchase. That's stitchfix.com/JTrain to get $20 off your first purchase. Limited time offer, purchase within 2 days of sign up. Love Stitch Fix. Love that option. Great time of year to like get the closet ready.
Oh, yeah.
Here with Mike Cannon, February 25th. That's the special. That's the big show.
The big show. I mean, I am taping it, and it may turn into something, but it's not like I'm not definitively saying it's a special.
That's going to be the most fun. That's the more fun type of homecoming show. Dating someone who's in love with his ex.
Ooh.
Hey, love all you do. I'll get right to it. I'm newly dating a man who is obviously not over his ex, but I'm wondering where I should draw the line and what is just bizarre. For some context, I mean, that means you should break up with him, right?
Yeah, like just that line alone is like, okay, I know where this is
bizarre?
going. Yeah.
Why are you here investigating? This is something that happens a lot where you'll have like women write into this show and they'll be like, I don't know what to do with this situation. I hate completely. And it's like,
it's weird. It
makes
me wear her panties.
For context, I'm 32. He is 39. He got out of a serious long-term relationship about 8 months ago. I have not had anything too serious in a couple of years. I have not fallen too deeply for anyone in the past couple of years, but remember what big heartbreak feels like. All to say, I've spent the past couple of years really figuring out what I'm looking for and feel like I'm in a good place to date. Here's the problem. I've noticed that the man I'm seeing has photos of his ex-girlfriend around his home. Oof. There's a photo booth pic hung up on his kitchen, in his kitchen of them. Weird because he also put one up of us next to it.
Oh, no.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, right next to it. Maybe he's going to murder both of you.
I mean, we hope not. Yeah. And a couple other around his house on various photo walls. There's one of her kissing his cheek in one of the main public areas of his place, amongst a bunch of other family member pics, etc. The other day, he posted a photo of his 2 adopted, not from this woman, daughters, with his ex facing away from the camera. This is irritating as fuck. I saw it as I was leaving my family Christmas to spend the night at his house. The story picture said something like, excited to head back to this destination with my girls this holiday. Why would he post this? I have not brought up any of this, but feel like I need to. I don't understand what he's doing, and I know I'll need to get this off my chest, but don't know how. How would you all suggest bringing this up? Thanks for your help. The new gal. What do you think?
So wait, the picture of the person was a different ex? I guess he's just got like ex memorabilia lining his walls?
I guess the other day he posted a picture of his 2 adopted, not from this woman, daughters, with his ex facing away from the camera.
Okay.
It just feels like this is now becoming a trend with any ex. What do you think she should do?
Yeah, I don't think these types of people are even fixable. Like, as soon as somebody shows this sign of needing like their past partner, it's kind of like, hey man, figure this out on your own, because I'm not going to allow myself to be just abused during this.
Well, right. He's not going to figure it out with you. No. This isn't something we can work through. I understand. I mean, this person seems nice that's writing in, but it seems like they're like, I got one. Let me figure out how to make this one work. And it's
right.
and the most important thing is the photo booth picture he is hanging up of you two next to the old girlfriend, as if, this is, like old baseball cards. Like, it's crazy.
yeah. Like it's a timeline of his love interest. That's weird, because if he just had it up there amongst the cluttered shit, then you could kind of be like, maybe he's just a guy and doesn't necessarily curate his wall art that well.
Right.
Well, the fact that he put it right next to it.
Right. He's looking at the thing he knows he should take down. He's not an idiot. Like, I think it's interesting. She's tiptoeing around this in the way she would want someone tiptoeing around her heartbreak. Mm-hmm. But the way she explains in her email, she goes, I've spent the last couple of years trying to figure out what I'm looking for and feel like I'm in a good place to date. She did the work as far as, hey, I'm ready. And now
she's like, why weren't you with me doing the work?
Right. Well, she's like, oh, he needs to do the work. And then she's like, I'll just stand here while you do the work. And it's like, no, it's over. Like, he is not ready. He's 8 months out of a relationship. And what you said is so true. Like, listen, there's someone out there being like, I found pictures of his ex in his drawer. And it's like, yeah, guys do that. Yeah. Guys will let things build up over things as if it's as if it's extinct dinosaurs just getting dug underground. Like, I'm sure if someone dug through my drawers, there'd be a picture of an ex-girlfriend from 18 years ago. Like.
Also, it sounds like she might be the fifth most important woman in his life right now.
Right.
Like, two behind his daughters, one behind the woman that he adopted the daughters with, and then behind the ex that he still has the pictures of up.
Right.
And you're just not in the rotation.
And here's the thing. What she's doing wrong is she's looking at things through his perspective. Yeah. He is not thinking of you. Okay? So you need to change the perspective. Do I want to date someone who has my picture of him and I on the fridge next to the woman he broke up with 8 months ago?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, I think that's a no for me. I don't know. Yes. I can't speak for her.
Dude, that's also the perfect way to frame all of this shit, is because everything is almost like trying to figure out what the person wants and what their interests are. And it's like, yeah, but do you want to put yourself through dealing with somebody who isn't right for you? Like, just think about it from a self-worth perspective.
Right. And there's two different versions. There's two different, ways this goes. You go to him, hey, it really turns me off that there's pictures of all your exes around. I'm going to leave. And now this is his opportunity to do the montage from every rom-com.
Yeah.
He goes around the apartment with a bag. He throws out the pictures. He looks at him for a second. He realizes he loves you. There's music playing.
He holds up a beach Bluetooth.
Right. He shows up at your apartment. He goes, you were always the one. Yes. I've realized the error of my ways. Here's what's more likely. He does nothing, and you go away, and he goes back on Tinder. And honestly, you want to know you're dating the guy that will show up with the Bluetooth speaker. You don't want to have to guess that you're showing up for that guy.
Right.
So right now you're going, well, I would assume he would be really upset if I leave. Well, let's fucking see.
8 months being free from somebody is not a long time. Like, no. Especially to start something legit serious, which this lady sounds, and probably rightfully so, but it sounds like she's ready for it.
I mean, I'm still coming to terms with things I'm realizing about myself from breakups I've had. I'm going, oh, this is why you're getting weird about a second date. Oh, this is why you're, and that's with, I've thought about, I do a dating podcast every fucking day of the week. You don't think I'm thinking about this? This guy ain't thinking about shit. Like he hasn't been forced to think about it. You got to force him to think about it. And honestly, if he thinks about it and goes, okay, you're better off.
The best is he's not thinking about it, and it's literally staring him right in the face.
Right. It's on his fridge. Every time he opens the fridge, he stares at his ex and you.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, this makes sense. And then walks away.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. We're sponsor people. Oh, what's the first thing you do when you wake up? Is it
me?
Yeah, what do you do when you wake up?
I check my phone and contemplate my mortality.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is it check up on your credit score? Is that part of your phone look?
It has not been.
Didn't think so. At Chime, that's exactly what they do. With their secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, you can start to build credit with your own money. Chime reports your payments to credit bureaus to help you build credit over time. Their members see an increase of 30 points on average. All this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. So start your credit journey with Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/JTrain. That's chime.com/JTrain. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank and pursuant to a license from Visa USA Chime checking account and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to score may vary, and some users' scores may not improve. Out-of-network and ATM withdrawal fees may apply except at MoneyPass, ATMs in a 7-Eleven, or any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. So go check out Chime. Here with Mike Cannon at I am Mike Cannon on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok. That's right. And his show, February 25th, Gramercy Theater.
Yes, sir.
Get those tickies. MikeCannon.comedy.com. It'll be in
Comedy.
MikeCannonComedy.com. In the description of this episode. Friendly fire. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm writing because about 8 months ago, I took on a management position, and now the boss of my work friend and I will have to fire her if performance doesn't improve drastically. So 8 months ago, took a management position, and now the boss of my work friend, and I will have to fire her if performance doesn't improve drastically. That's crazy.
Ooh. Yeah.
We were also Instagram friends before she was hired, just to add another wrench into the situation. I don't think
that doesn't mean anything.
What are you talking about?
That's sweet.
To put it bluntly, she's
That's
stubborn.
like me being like, I'm also close with Sarah Silverman. So.
Yeah, what are you talking about? To put it bluntly, she's stubborn and hard-headed, has straight up told me if she doesn't want to learn something or do something, she just won't. Oh, sounds like a fun person to work with. This is an issue because she was hired. Because since she was hired, the previous boss was trying to teach her to use the machinery we use weekly to keep the place running, and now it's my problem. Of course, she's been refusing to learn it. Unfortunately, that is just one of the issues we have. She also doesn't follow instructions in general, resulting in blunders that have cost the company close to $20,000. That's just in the last 3 months. This isn't a big company by any means, and those mistakes resulted in us seeing budget cuts elsewhere so we wouldn't go under. The owners of the companies are now on me asking why she doesn't know how to do it yet, and because she's refusing to learn, they think the only route is firing her. Do I give her another chance to talk to her and see if she's still she'll listen, or take the actions I've seen in the last 10 months and let her go? Sincerely, stubborn mule manager. What do you think?
She sounds like a bumbling idiot. You need to cut your friend free and force her into like radical growth, because that's the only way that she's going to I mean, it doesn't even almost. I know this is just gender norms I'm spewing here, but it doesn't even sound like a woman. It sounds like Brendan Sagalow. Like if you put him on a Pepsi assembly line, he'd like forget a bottle, throw one, it would all come crashing down. You know, it just sounds like such a goofy thing where she's outwardly saying she's not learning her job. It's like, well,
here's how I can make him feel better, her feel better, whoever it is. They're not being a friend to you. Mm-hmm. Like you're sitting here writing to us being like, hey, my friend at work, I might have to fire and I feel horrible about it. But then they're looking at you going, yeah, my friend's my new boss. They can go fuck themselves.
Right.
Like they're not being your friend. Hey, because you're not being my friend, I have to let you go. My job is in trouble. I mean, the way they explain this, where they're like, you know, they've lost the company 20,000, and like, I'd be like if that was my friend, I would go up to them and be like, hey, they're going to fire you. I'm going to have to fire you.
Yeah.
So what do you want me to do here? Like
that's like getting mad at your friend who's friends with your girlfriend for not like holding in that you're cheating on her. You know what I mean? It's like, what, dude? What? Like, you just have to. Yeah, she is being a terrible friend. The position she's putting you in, especially if you're like succeeding and continuing to grow, and you actually want to do this shit. Doesn't sound like she has any interest. So maybe it won't even hurt her to move careers.
Right, and yeah. Well, that's the thing. She's acting like, I'll be fine. I don't give a fuck. So if you don't give a fuck, I do. I want to stay in this job. I think there's like a last resort. You go to her, you have lunch. If you're not close enough to have lunch or dinner, then fire her immediately. Like, I don't even give a fuck. But like, and I think the Instagram part is interesting. I don't know the gender of the person writing this. I just have the email.
Okay.
But the fact that they put that in there, I'm like, it feels like this person is afraid to fire them because, like, I've been flirting with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why would they write? Point. Right? Why would they write? To make we're also Instagram friends before she was hired. Like, I don't understand why that's even.
Dude, you are brilliant. That is 1,000,000% what it is. That's feels like shit. I have to either get her phone and delete the entire conversation.
Right. It feels like, I'm like, why would this person feel like they're at fault for this person being an asshole? And it's like, let me just say to this person, you're going to be fine. Like, if I were you, I'd just go to them and be like, hey, I just got to, and they know you've been elevated. They know you're a manager now. So, hey, I got word from up top that if you don't change up, they're going to fire you.
Yeah.
Do you care? And the firing is going to come from me. When I say they, it's going to come from me. Like, I would be straight up with them in that way. Like, they're going to fire you. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to feel horrible about it. You tell me you don't want to learn one new thing, and if you're not going to do that, then I have to agree with them.
Right.
And this person has to let go of this Instagram friendship. There's something about that part of the email that makes me go, damn, that's what they're most afraid of. Like, that they have this prior relationship where they've flirted and now they're working together, and now they're like, well, I feel like a piece of shit because now I'm going to, fire the person I flirted with, and this is uncomfortable. You got to go talk to them straight up.
Very smart to lock onto that. I just dismissed that as like, wow, that's how young people consider themselves friends. Like, if they've liked 3 or 4 pictures of each other, they're like, we're besties.
Right. No. There's something off about that to include it. Even if they're 2 women, I just think like they had this other relationship that they think is more important than it is. And it's like, they've now just not cared about that relationship. So why should you?
Right. Yeah. And it's like the mob. You're doing the right thing. You're warning your friend they're about to get whacked, but there's something they can do to fix it.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com, here with Mike Cannon at I am Mike Cannon. Go. Gramercy Theater, February 25th. Get those tickies. Link in the description of this episode. Same city, wrong time.
Ooh.
Dear Jared and guests, Feather, I wanted to get your opinion about a guy from the past that's been reaching out recently. He was one of my close guy friends freshman year of college. We hooked up on and off sophomore and junior year. I had a crush on him when we were hooking up, but he had just gotten out of a long-term relationship, wasn't ready for anything serious, so things kind of fizzled out. He was also awful at responding to texts and rarely used his phone or social media, so communication was a big issue. We're now almost 3 years post-grad and living in the different cities. I was in his city this fall, and he replied to one of my Instagram stories asking how long I was in town, asking to catch up, but the timing didn't work out. His family lives in my city. So he said he'd let me know the next time he was back in town so we could meet up. Fast forward to now when I'm on vacation with my family in Hawaii, and he slid up on my story saying he just missed me in Hawaii by a few days and asked when I'll be back home since he's visiting his family. What do you think he hopes to gain from DMing me like this? This seems like a lot of effort for a cross-country booty call, but it also seems strange that he'd choose now to rekindle a friendship after not seeing each other since junior year of college. It's also pretty out of the ordinary for him to be active on social media, let alone be using it to try to make plans. Do you think he's really looking for a friendly catch-up, or do you think do guys really want a cross-country booty call from 4 years ago? Should I meet up with him when we're in the same city, or am I wasting my time? Thank you for any advice. Sincerely, DM'd and confused. What do you think, Mike Cannon?
Yeah, of course. Guys want cross-country booty calls. And also that's like, it's very nice. And I understand what she means by a lot of effort, but it's not. It's truly not a lot of effort. And I think this also proves that he's not good at social media. He chooses not to participate in it for the majority of the time, and also not refuse to not respond to text messages. So it just shows like, you're in thing, you showed interest. He's like, oh shit, you were in Hawaii. You guys had these things in common. Now he's like trying to close the deal.
You and I picked up on the same thing. And it's that she keeps saying how much of an effort this is. And that is insanity. And it's because of how she thinks of it. When she thinks of DMing someone, she's like, you know what? He checks a lot of boxes. I could live in that city. I could, move over there. I could put in the time. He's the type of person I would be with. That is not how he's thinking of this. You are a woman. You are a woman who has agreed to see him naked in the past. You are a woman who will probably say yes to seeing him naked in the future. You are agreed upon that he is good looking to you, and now you are something to come back to. He's lonely. And this is no effort at all. This is a DM to a story. He's not planning trips. He's not thinking of this in the way that she thinks is effort filled.
She's looking at it as like Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack meeting on the figure skating ice. Like very serendipitous. It all means something. And it's like, I don't know.
This guy has put only thought in his mind is hot woman who has said that she thinks I'm hot before. Because right now you offer actually of the least harmful path. People go towards the place that's going to get them the least disappointment. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's doing with her. He knows that they have and here's the other thing. She's thinking this through her prism. This idea that if a woman has hooked up with a guy, the guy thinks that she is into him forever. It's just the truth.
It is, yeah.
And our egos are too big. So and I know I hear from a lot of women. They go, "Oh, he did this one thing and I'm grossed out." Or, "Oh, I got over him and I never thought of him that way again." That is not how a guy thinks. So this guy, because you hooked up with him freshman and sophomore and junior year, he's like, that's one on the shelf that I can always pick up and start playing with. Yeah. And that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, you're a guitar hanging on the wall.
Right. And we mean that in the most genuinely positive, nice way.
Oh, you're a Stratocaster. You're a great guitar.
and the way she said, what do you think he hopes to gain from DMing me like this? A blowjob. Like it's so simple to him. And you're in the I just have to push back on the idea that this is difficult. You're in the same city as his family, so he's going there anyways. He's not making an extra trip. He's not making an extra flight. Oh, it's cross country. No. It's next to the race car bed he sleeps in. Right? Like,
yeah, 100%. He's going there anyway.
It's so funny to me that, Cannon, I'm looking at you and you're like, yeah, this isn't hard at all.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, it's very sweet though. It makes me feel for her because she very clearly like could see herself with this guy, and she's also like a lovely person that is actually looking into this stuff. And who knows, this guy could potentially have like some sort of dormant feelings for her, but I do think primary goal is to have sex.
Well, and I think she needs to stop thinking of this in terms of effort that she's giving and realize it's no effort. Like, she's even saying, should I meet up with him in the same city, or am I wasting my time? What is a waste of your time? What would be the goal of meeting with him for you? Don't think of the goal for him. Fuck him. His goal is hot chick who thinks he's hot enough to hook up with. That's all his goal is. So if you're sitting there going, well, what am I wasting my time? He doesn't want to be your friend, one. Two, what would be a waste of your time? So a waste of my time is, oh, shit, I'm going to meet up with someone who just wants to hook up. I don't want that. So then maybe you shouldn't meet up with him.
Yeah. And if you also, sorry, my mic was low before, but if you also like want to have sex, which is completely cool, just do that if that's what you also want to get out of it.
But when you say, am I wasting my time? I don't know what you expect from this. So you have to suss out your expectations. And if your expectations are like, maybe he could be the one that I would date forever and be my husband, yeah, you might be wasting your fucking time. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Mike Cannon at I am Mike Cannon on all platforms. The show is at Gramercy Theater, February 25th. Go get those tickets now. There's very few available. You're going to love Mike Cannon. Lost in Flakesville.
Nice.
I'm following up after your excellent touch a leg advice with K York City. Truly, this move became my go-to in New York City, so thank you. So this is from a while back.
Okay.
I've now moved to LA for work and trying to navigate going out and dating post-pandemic here. I try and stay positive, but I gotta say, this is one of the toughest cities I've ever tried to date seriously in. Even touch a leg doesn't work here, ha ha ha. It's also the only place I've ever lived where I've been stood up after confirming an hour before. It really sucked, but I didn't let it deter me. I'm still going out with friends, having fun nights, but I'm in a really good place work-wise and adulting-wise, and would love to share that with a partner. So here's a question for you. On the apps, I've started countering with an in-app FaceTime date before instead of going out to meet up right away, and have gotten mixed reviews. You've always said own your standards, and I don't want to go back on that. But do you think asking for a FaceTime chat is too much and doesn't make a difference in the end? As for meeting people in real life, I've joined a few clubs thinking it'd be a fun way to meet people. So far, meeting great people. But dang, the LA flake stereotype is worse than I even thought, and on a whole other level. It's been very hard to not get discouraged. I know any advice from you will be better than expected, so thank you in advance. 90-day fiance-ish. Oh, no. Never mind. That was the next one. So go ahead.
I mean, yeah, you do have to realize that you're in LA, the city of shitheads. So that kind of thing is just going to happen. People truly do not have any thought of you or your life or whatever, even if they agree to a date. And in terms of like the pre-date FaceTime in LA especially, but pretty much anywhere, it's like if you want that kind of meeting, girls are still going to get date ready. Like they want you to see them in the light of date. They're probably not going to just like answer it in bed with fucking no makeup on and just hair all over the place. It's like they want, it's more or less an interview. So it's like, if you're going to put that effort in, you might as well get a free drink as well.
Right. I mean, and I guess if it's a woman writing in, then they're averting having to get too makeup ready and have to like go out. And I guess like with LA, listen, if you want a FaceTime date, ask for it. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It can be done on a walk. It can be done in between, during a break at work. Hey, want to jump on FaceTime real quick? I'd love to talk to you. that is like I think making it a date is a mistake. I think making it like, hey, this has been really nice. Want to jump on FaceTime real quick? I'd love to like get a feel for kind of how you operate.
Yeah, see if we have chemistry.
Right, and if they won't do that, then they won't do anything. If you're just like, because when you're like in the midst of a text conversation, you go, hey, can we jump off a text? I just want to like talk on the phone real quick. If you do it like it's nothing and they won't do it, then if it's nothing to you and something to them, something's off.
Well, and that's a great point, because there are people that I've had like unreal text chemistry with, where we're like riffing, we're making jokes, we're back and forth. Right. And then you put us in the same room and it's like we have nothing to say to each other. Like we need that 5-minute buffer to think of a new thing that this person might find endearing.
And I think a big part of this is like taking the meeting out of dating. And, there's something about when a first date's like, hey, want to just get a drink right nearby? And you're like, wow, this was fun and easy. So I think the same could be said for FaceTime. Hey, want to jump on the FaceTime real quick? Like, I don't really want to text. Are you down?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You only do that when the text has gone well. Mm-hmm. You only do the date, hey, let's get drinks tonight. You want to go get a drink tonight? When you know you'll feel good about it. So it's almost a test for yourself. Because you go, oh, like it was that easy. If it's not that easy and you have to go, can we do a FaceTime at 7:05 on Tuesday night? Then it's like, yeah, this ain't going to work ever. I actually do believe that. So if you want the FaceTime, I think make it quick. Make it like, hey, let's just get this done. Like whatever. And don't turn it into this like, I will be FaceTiming you tomorrow, 9 p.m. and we shall get ready. It's like, pop up the phone and let's fucking go. Like, I do understand the makeup thing and looking ready, but like, hey, we're having a nice text. Let's see if it feels good in the next.
Well, it sounds like whoever accepts it is probably going to be this person's type, because that's also what you're looking for. So if people are turning it down, then you're probably just easily moving past the people that you wouldn't have vibed with anyway, so they're more or less saving you even more time. So it's like, if you ask, and I agree with the non-formal, just like, hey, let's pop on real quick. I just want to say what's up, prove that I'm a human being, prove that you're a human being, like whatever.
But if they're doing this because LA has been flaky, I would encourage them to like, here's what I would say about the LA flaky. And Mike and I have both dealt with this probably in the same way. Don't change you to be as weird as them. Yeah. And I know that's like end of the Full House episode, but that's something I believe in. Like I call it the LA no. And I've said it on this podcast a few times. The LA no is they will be as positive as possible while telling you no. So you'll go, hey man, I'm going to be in town. I'd love to do your podcast. And they're like, when are you in town? And you're like, I'll be there the whole year 2023. And they're like, oh my God, we're booked up. You're not going to believe this. All of 2023 is booked. And you go, well, how about the first month of 2024? I'll be there still. And they'll go, ooh, my grandmother's going to die the first month of 2024. It's a very LA attitude. It's very much always positive, never mean, always going to give you what you want to hear. And what I do is I literally do what I just said. When I talk to someone in LA, I go, I'd love to do your podcast. They go, when? I go, I'll be there the whole month.
Yes.
And like, you make it so easy on them that they almost have to tell you, go fuck yourself.
Right. Yeah.
I corner them into being a New Yorker.
Yeah. Yeah. And also,
you know what I mean?
It is an easy way to just stand out as a human being. It's like, listen, everybody, if the waves are going one way and then you kind of are doing your own thing, right? Again, that's going to catch the eye of whoever you should probably be with.
When you're acting honestly and things get weird, that's because they're acting weird.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing you can always remember. So, hey,
that should be a t-shirt, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Down for a date next week. And they go, ooh, next week is rough. And you go, how about the next month? You give me a day. And they go, ooh, well, we'll see. They're never going to make that date. It's never going to happen.
Never. Yeah,
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. We're with Mike Cannon at I am Mike Cannon on all platforms. The show is February 25th at Gramercy Theater. Get your tickets. 90-day fiance-ish update. Okay, I got ahead of myself. A few months ago, I wrote to you ask for advice regarding my long-distance boyfriend and if I should move to Ireland or if he should move here to the United States. You gave such great advice. We're both huge fans of the show. I wanted to give you an update. Okay. Nice. We're engaged.
Wow.
He's moving here.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at what you've done.
Your advice, don't email when you get divorced. Your advice helped us so much in our decisions. We're currently filing for K1 visa to bring him to the United States. It's some real 90-day fiance shit. Feel free to crash our wedding, which will be in Ireland if you're down to clown and want a vacation. Well, I'm coming to Dublin. We appreciate your advice, and you're great at what you do. You really make a difference. We hope you had a fantastic new year. Well, wow, what a JTrain success story.
That's amazing. Have you had weddings before?
I've gotten invited to weddings that I've been credited with in some way, but it's not, it's like, it's one of those things where like, I think most people are like listen together and they go, oh, this is something we share and that's nice.
Yeah,
but yeah. I mean, sounds more like I really did help.
I like how you're coming to terms with the fact that you're important to these people.
Holy shit.
You're like, wow, look at me.
I'm sitting here taping a podcast while having to take a shit and drinking. Let's do one more. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, of course. Dude, that's awesome, though. Also, I hope it ends up while you're in Ireland and you can go.
I want to go so badly. I'll wear the kilt. I'll do the whole fucking thing.
That'd be awesome.
Everyone go to Mike Cannon Show, February 25th. Okay, I'm the villain in my own story. Jared. I'm writing to you as the villain we've made fun of for years. In 2019, I started dating my best friend, but in early 2020, I ended it. Looking back, I truly didn't give us a real chance. Vapidly feeling underwhelmed by the lack of newness, dating someone I'd known for years. 2 months after we broke up, I started dating one of her best friends, with whom I had a surprising connection. After a year of dating and some karmic infidelity, I had to end it. Karmic infidelity?
Meaning she cheated on him?
I guess that's the only thing I can assume.
Yeah.
In my shame, I knew I betrayed my best friend, and I was justly left the fool. I hate how vague this is. I wish you would have just said I got fucking cheated on. But I guess we can assume he got cheated on. Now 3 years later, I mean, justly left the fool. What is he?
It's an infuriating way to write it.
Right. What are you, a poet? You got cheated on, dude.
I picture him wearing a very light scarf and a t-shirt right now.
Right. What is he? Justly left the fool me. It sounds like Nunley left the richer. What was that band?
Yes. Fuck yes. What was that? Something the richer.
Yeah.
Sixpence the richer. The richer.
Yeah. Sixpence the richer. What?
Something. That's
Hold on. I'm Googling it.
Justly left a fool.
Sixpence None the Richer.
Okay, so that was close.
It was a band. Hold on, I'm trying to find their music. Yeah.
They didn't do Kiss Me, right? That song from She's All That?
I think they did.
Wow.
What is it? Yeah, rules. Kiss Me. Best known for the songs Kiss Me. There She Goes. There she goes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fuck this dude.
This guy's the lead singer. He's wildly embarrassed right now.
Now, 3 years later, I've been getting closer again with the girl I hurt terribly. There's something between us. Truth is, after losing two parents in 2 years, oh my God, he's got a tragic story. I'm sorry for saying fuck you. Truth is, after losing two parents in 2 years, my philosophy of what's valuable in a relationship is vastly different. And almost every day I think of how I ruined my chance with the one. We maintain mutual friends, but I've made it paramount to stand clear and never to influence her emotions. Nevertheless, this guy in the languaging, we are approaching a crossroad of rekindled feelings, so I must ask, how does the villain address this tension? when they have no right to ask for any real estate from the woman they betrayed? Is it too unthinkable for me to say anything at all? So what do you think? I mean,
this guy
is this Bill Shakespeare?
Dude,
what is this
guy
email?
needs to write an iambic pentameter love letter to this lady because it is unbelievable the way he strings together these sentences.
Well, I mean, that goes into my answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, you could just I think the way he just said it is completely reasonable to if it's actually a we, because if the crossroads just means him, then this could just reopen a scab that she has no interest in, and she's actually spent a lot of time getting over and kind of healing from, and that could just completely uproot the whole thing. But if it's actually they feel the thing and they're worried about it, then I think he should be like, hey, my whole perspective has been completely shattered. Well, I acted like an asshole. I did this, and I'm now ready to do what is necessary, to be a good boyfriend.
Listen, I totally agree with you, but he needs to stop speaking in poetry. He needs to stop making this so romanticized. She is an adult who's going to make decisions that are best for her. Mm-hmm. So you don't have I mean, a lot of this is filled in ego, which I totally understand.
Yeah.
But he's sitting here being like, how I broke her heart, and now am I taking advantage? And the one I left, therefore none the richer. And it's like, dude, okay. First of all, he needs to stop living in this romanticism and go, do I love this person? Do I really care enough to go back down this road?
Right.
Then you need to apologize and go, hey, I'm a different person. Just the way you just said, I'm a different person. And we need, if we're going to go down this road, I need to know that I've been forgiven because we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move forward as your boyfriend. But how long are you going to be the villain? How long are you going to live this with, the Scarlet A? You got to you got to forgive yourself, and she's got to forgive you if you're going to move forward.
Yeah, and I just hope that this guy has because it is written very flowery and romanticized and sweetly, but I hope that it's the same across the table. You know what I mean? Hope that he's not like, hey, by the way, I've been thinking a lot about that, and she's like, you've been thinking about that? We hooked up for a week. Who cares?
Well, I would also say, is he writing this way because he hasn't thought through it?
Mm.
I think a lot of times people stick to the cliche and the romanticism because it makes them sound like someone who's been therapized.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't buy it, to tell you the truth. I actually think this email's bullshit.
I poured his heart out with his dead parents, and you're like,
No, I'm incredibly sorry about his parents. I'm incredibly sorry about everything, but the way he writes it doesn't live in reality for me.
Sure.
You didn't feel it with your you dated a woman that you were friends with. Okay, you'd known her for 2 years. 2 months after you, I truly didn't give us a real chance. Vapidly feeling underwhelmed by the lack of newness. Okay, you dated someone for a year and you felt tired of it. Okay, yeah. That's plain and simple.
Well, but it also sounded like he was a consistent asshole throughout it if he was vapidly uninterested in the normality of it.
Right. So if that was the case, you have something to make up for there. And, hey, you might get to the same exact spot that you were in, and you have to be able to risk that. When you go back to someone, you are risking becoming the same person you were with them.
Yep.
So, and hurting them in the same way. So you have to kind of look in the mirror to go, hey, am I willing to take that chance? Do I care about this person enough, or do I believe I do, so that if that comes up, the chance was worth taking?
Mm.
And I think when he speaks in this languaging of, flowery, as you put it, flowery, it's easy to kind of brush over that of now I care because the Mother's Eve is well enough. Get out of here, dude. Let's be real.
Yeah, maybe that could very well be his entire problem, is that the language is a thing that just covers up how he actually feels, and it's the bullshit.
Right.
Cut through the bullshit.
And it might be that he doesn't know how he's going to feel, so he says these things to win her back and then make decisions later. And it's like, dude, you need to come to terms with, do I really care about this person that much that I might hurt them again because I'm willing to take this chance? the stuff that happened with their friend and you getting cheated on isn't really like, it really doesn't matter as much as if you really like this person.
Yeah.
And you want to like give it a shot. And when you bring up the parents and that's the other thing. Like, I'm sorry about his parents, but like when you bring them up, it's almost to give you reason to want to get with someone that you used to be friends with. Like, maybe that's not a good enough reason.
Sure. Yeah. And also that feeling of reprioritizing, just know that like also instinct to attach yourself to a person is a result of the unfortunate abandonment of no longer having parents. Like, right. That's so all of this stuff, be it love, be it whatever, it's not all good. But it's real, but it's not all good. So that impulse could be kind of an unhealthy thing.
And are they going back to someone who loved them instead of going to a therapy and a professional who can help them work on it, and then maybe they'd be ready and maybe this person would be gone? Like, there's an element of like, oh, I'm going back to them because they might be gone when I'm ready. And it's like, why don't you get ready first and do these people a favor and go see a professional so that you're ready for whoever, maybe it's them or maybe it's just the next person that you're ready for.
Right. Which kind of actually even swings back to the first one of that, the lady with the guy with the 8 months and the ex-girlfriend and the 2 adopted kids. So you did the work. You got to wait. They might not be there. It may not be them, but you will be whole at the end of it.
JTrain Podcast at gmail.com, JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. Mike Cannon, thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, brother.
Always the best. Everyone go to his show February 25th.
Yes, sir.
At Gramercy Theater, MikeCannonComedy.com, at I Am Mike Cannon on all platforms. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday with your emails, your stories, your questions. We'll be back next episode. Boom!